This is one of the topics I love. This is recycling. I want to say a few things about recycling in Israel. So, contrary to what they're supposed to, every shop is obligated by law to take bottles and of course pay the person who gives the bottle, who brings the bottles. There are people who make a living out of it, mostly foreign workers. I've begun to recycle because there's a machine next to the supermarket where I buy. But normally I wouldn't recycle because people don't take the bottles. They just refuse to take it. Even I don't care about the money as much as they just don't take the bottles at all. And AMPM is one shop that just doesn't take bottles. They don't like to. And I'm surprised to see that there's so many bottles there. I don't know. Maybe they sometimes take, sometimes not. All I know is that my experience trying to bring bottles to AMPM, Supersal is, except one Supersal in Arlozorov Street that has a machine, an automatic machine. Usually businesses do not go by the law and they can get fined. So I'm surprised to see all these bottles. And I really hope that recycling indeed happens. I've heard that it's a controversial topic, and if you're interested in it, I'd love to hear your opinion. Because I heard that recycling actually is not very good for the environment, the whole process. So, what do you think? I'm for eliminating plastic as much as possible. I have a reusable cup, and that's the best way to, if you're environmentally conscious. But I look at this and it makes me sad that so much plastic is being used. Also myself, sometimes I break down and I buy a plastic bottle, and yeah. So I'm waiting here for the bus, which is another environmental issue. As long as the public transportation in Israel is very unreliable, more and more people will be, if you can, will buy a car, because if it means that you're not going to get to work on time, or like now I had to postpone an appointment because there's no way I'm going to get to this place on time, even though it's very nearby. Public transportation in Israel is unreliable. The prices are going up, even though the population that uses public transportation is not the wealthiest socioeconomic, it's not the top 10%. And there's too many cars, too many private vehicles that, contrary to Donald Trump and what he says, which is nonsense, CO2 emission, carbon dioxide emission is responsible for global warming, why we have crazy weather, why we had horrible weather the other day. It was extremely hot, and we had the worst air pollution in the world, even before China in Israel. In Tel Aviv, and I could feel it. I got really sick. My dog didn't even want to go out. So global warming is a real thing, and it's very sad that the leader of the world, the free world, just thinks about today. I mean, I thought he was a family man. We have to think about the world that we leave behind, and we're just a tiny drop we're just a tiny second in the clock of the world, and we leave behind our children and our great-grandchildren and our great-great-grandchildren. We'll get a world where there's horrible results of global warming, which are floods, and you see the weather in the US, extreme weather, extreme heat, extreme colds, and you see the CO2 emission of a bus, but the bus carries a few passengers. And if we want to improve the global warming situation, we have to improve public transportation. I once worked for advocates for education in a company called Israel Hayafa, Moetzet Israel Hayafa, which is a non-profit which promotes educating kids about global warming and recycling. But the people that worked in this office had private cars. They didn't use public transportation, which I think is a joke. And so I would be 5 minutes late coming to school because I needed 2 buses to get to a place very far away from where I live. And she would like, why are you 5 minutes late? It's because I don't have a private car. And I depend on public transportation, which is completely unreliable in Israel. So if we want to improve these things, the first thing our parliament has to do, which it doesn't, is first of all, parliament members have to use public transportations once in a while. If our transport, the Minister of Transport, would have to use public transportation, we wouldn't have problems. And now in Hebrew. אז אני מסתכלת על מיחזור, עבדתי במועצה לישראל יפה, ואני אתייג אתכם. פוטרתי על ידי בחורה שהיא שליש מהגיל שלי, שנוהגת ברכב פרטי. איך את יכולה להיות חלק ממערך חינוכי נגד זיהום ונגד חימום כדור הארץ, ויש לכם מרכז למידה כשאת נוהגת ברכב פרטי, ואת צועקת עליי למה אני 5 דקות מאחרת לבית ספר ששמתם אותי בקצה אחרי בני ברק ללמד ילדים, והייתי צריכה 2 אוטובוסים, והייתי 3 שעות כל כיוון, ואת צועקת עליי למה אני 5 דקות מאחרת. אז התפטרתי, גם לא שילמתם מספיק טוב בשביל הכאב ראש הזה. וקודם כל תיישמו, כל עוד שרת התחבורה לא צריכה להשתמש באוטובוס. הנה, אני מאחרת עכשיו לפגישה, למה? כי אי אפשר לסמוך על האוטובוסים. אז זה דבר ראשון, אם אנחנו רוצים לשפר את הזיהום אוויר, צריך לשפר את תחבורה ציבורית.